Hi there and welcome back. We're going to be doing an inner thigh stretch sequence for you today. Make sure that you don't do any stretches without being warm first. So we want to make sure we've at least gone for a walk, or we've done a Pilates session or something where we've warmed up the body. We don't want to do our stretches from cold because we can cause damage to the muscles. So we're going to go into an open leg position to begin with. I'm going to open those legs out. Now it's as wide as you can, okay? Don't worry about where you are. We're always going to improve. The more we do this, the wider you'll be able to go. So when we're in this position, if you find that your pelvis is tilting under, so often we have tight hips here. If you find you're kind of like this and you're not able to hold your position, get a cushion, all right? Sit on your cushion. Okay, and the cushion's going to push you forwards, okay? It's going to really, really help you. Make sure it's at the back of you, back of the bottom, so it's sort of tilting the pelvis forwards. We want the toes strong, so they're facing up towards the ceiling. We don't really want sort of lazy feet, all right? You're not going to get the same feeling, the same stretch feeling. So let's make sure toes towards the ceiling. They have to keep checking it because they are going to want to try and come down. So you might already feel the stretch here, and that's brilliant, okay? But if you want to add on, we can push to the inside of those legs. We're going to pull the shoulder blades back and we're going to lift the chest. So we're going to just squeeze in, lengthen. Imagine that the collarbones are just opening out. Push and press on the inside of those legs. And breathe. Beautiful. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and come down a little bit lower. Don't worry if you're not up to that today yet, just stay where you are. So we can have the hands in front and we can just start to walk them forward, and that might be enough for you today, and that's fine. If you can go a little bit further, great. Watch those feet. The further we go, the more they're going to want to roll in, okay? So keep them where they are. If you want to soften off, you can. So we can bend down a little bit. So we're in a low position and we should feel the opening through the inside of those legs. So breathe and hold. And just draw that tummy in a little bit and just sort of release off. Think about your sit bones just sinking down into the mat. Wonderful. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to release the side of the body. This is going to help actually allow you to come down a little bit lower. So what we're going to do is take the hands to the inside of the leg. So let's say right hand to the inside of the right leg. Left arm is going to reach up and across. So what we're doing is we're just trying to lengthen down the side of the body. So we're stretching and reaching. Breathe. And release off. We're going to take the left hand to the inside of the left leg. Right arm is going to reach up and over. So this is just going to help release off that lower spine to hopefully get you down a little bit lower into that inner thigh stretch. And release. So again, we can start up. We can press in here. If you want to stay up, you can. If you want to come down, we can walk those hands forwards. Just see how far you can come down. And again, you can just soften those elbows off, see how you feel. So you might have released off a little bit, and that's great. If you haven't, don't worry too much. Just breathe and release. So we're going to work a little bit with the symbiotic nature through the muscles, okay? So we're going to be sort of using some switching them on, which will allow the inner thighs to relax off. So we're going to do this very gently, very carefully. So even if we're up, we can do this. If we're down, we can do this. What we're going to do is bring our weight over slightly to the right. So while you're still facing forwards, facing me, all right? Bring your weight and push your sit bone down into the floor. So press it down as much as you can, whether you're here or whether you're here. Just think about the weight driving down through that sit bone as much as possible. So you're feeling a switch on through the hamstring, maybe in just the back of that groin area. Push, push, push. Next exhale, I want you to stay as low as you are and carefully just slide across to the other side, okay? And we're going to do the same again. So we're going to be pushing the sit bone down into the mat. So push, 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 breathe, drive it down. Weight over to the side, so we're sort of sideways. We're not rotating, all right? We're just sideways and push down. And then slide across, stay as low as you can. Okay, other side, driving down through that sit bone, push into the floor. Breathe. slowly sliding across to the other side. And again, pushing down, sit bone into the floor. And then slide across. Okay, so I don't know if you notice that I'm getting a little bit lower now. It's just helping me release off. Again, it might be not that noticeable yet, but the more you do this, the more you'll notice the difference. So one more time, let's slide across. Push the sit bone down. And then slide back to center. So you might feel a little bit more comfortable in this position. Just check that those feet haven't rolled forwards. Okay, they will try. So make sure we adjust them. And hold. Perfect. So we're going to bring the arms in now safely to come out of this position. Let's come out of this safely. Hands behind, just pull your bottom backwards. That is just because we've been in that position so long. Obviously that's under a lot of tension and we don't want to obviously rip the legs and pull them in from that position. So we're going to take the soles of the feet in together. And we want to get as close to the soles as we can. So we're bringing them in close, close, close. And we're going to bring the hands to those ankles. And we're going to push down, so elbows onto those knees. And we're just trying to open up through the hip bones. Now if that's not enough stretch for you, because you might already be quite open. I mean, we might be up here and we might have to do elbows and push outwards, okay? So it's really dependent on your current flexibility, where you put your arms and your hands. Okay, so if we're already quite open, we can think about opening our feet like a book. So imagine you've got a really nice story on the inside of them. We can rotate and open out those soles of those feet and have a little look in. And that's going to, again, open out a little bit more through the center. We're going to do a little progressive stretch now. So what I want you to do is take your weight all the way over to one side. Now, if we were in this position, this is going to be very difficult for you. So I want you to put a few cushions down on your side. So when you're leaning over, you're leaning into those cushions. So you're not having to go all the way to the floor, okay? If you're able to get to the floor, fantastic, all right? But otherwise, if you find you're wobbling and you can't maintain it, just put a couple of cushions there anyway, just so you're not having to go down quite so low. We're going to drive the elbow down onto the knee, all right? And what we're going to do is use the other hand to push and press and gently open up through the hips, okay? And breathe, nice deep breaths. And we're thinking about that expansion, that opening through the inner thigh. Just take some nice deep breaths. Lovely. We're going to come into the centre and just keep those heels as close to you as you can manage and just see if it feels a little bit more open. So give it a double check. And then we're going to do the other side. So let's take, again, if you've got your cushions, bring them around the other side. Come over. We want the knee down towards the floor. We want the elbow connecting to the knee. And we're going to push and we're going to press and we're going to open out. So it's not a super hard push, but it's firm enough that you can just feel that little switch on, that little stretch reflex through the inside of the leg. And breathe. With every exhale, just imagine it relaxing and releasing off. We're going to slowly come back in to center. Again, bring the heels closer to the body and just see if you feel a little bit more loose through those hips. It might just be it's more spongy than it was before. It might have been really tight before. You might have been here and, you know, rock hard. If it starts to move a little bit, you mean you've just releasing it off a little bit. So that's a really good one for you to do every day if you can. So that's this section done. So we're going to just change position now. So we're going to do a little bit of a froggy stretch. So we're going to go over. And what we're going to do is we're going to open the knees out. Now your feet can be, or your knees can be any position you want. So they can be wider, they can be narrow, whatever feels most comfortable for you and your knees. And you're just going to soften down for me. So just sit back a little bit and just feel a stretch start to come through the inside of those legs, okay? You might not be able to go down quite so far, and that's also fine. So just feel that stretch. Go down as low as you can manage and just breathe, feeling the inner thigh releasing off, or feel that stretch position. Always take a break whenever you need to. And what we're going to do is we're just going to walk those elbows forward slightly. So just come forwards, all right, and open as wide as you can. So you're going to feel a slightly different part of those inner thighs now stretching off. And then sink back, so push the tailbone backwards. Now you're really going to feel that stretch increase in intensity. Breathe. Come forwards. And then press back. Wonderful. And slowly releasing. So you want to walk in, elbows in. Just start to bring those knees in very slightly, very carefully. So you've been in a very extended position. Okay, and then we're going to finish off there. I will probably record a bit more of an advanced inner thigh one later, but for now, obviously pick and choose what you want from that particular sequence that works for you. And like I said, really enjoy, once you get those hips open, it's going to change your world, honestly. Just to bend down to pick stuff up, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, you just got so much more flexibility. So I really, really, really urge you to do this frequently. All right, and enjoy. See you next time.